Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk to y'all, just sit down and talk, because my Instagram gets a lot of comments on it lately, you know, about my weight being unhealthy or things like that. Plus, you know, I'm dealing with mental health issues, and I just wanted to talk and see, you know, get your opinions and, you know, basically just talk about what's going on in my life, how I deal with things, how I cope with things. So the first thing I want to talk about is the comments. They don't really get to me. I've been fat all my life. No matter what I've done, no matter what I've tried, I cannot lose the weight. I was a size 18 when I was 12 years old, and I have done nothing, could not get the weight off. When I was 26, I believe, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease, which also contributes to the weight and why I can't get it off. And then at the same time, I was on a medication for 3 years that caused weight gain, that my doctor, every time I brought it up, the doctor that I was seeing at the time, just kind of put it off to the side and said, it's whatever I'm doing, it's not the medicine, it's not anything. But it was the medicine and the combination of the undiagnosed Hashimoto's that caused me to balloon up 150 pounds, or 150 plus pounds. So, you know, comments of people saying I'm unhealthy, in all actuality, you're wrong. I don't have diabetes. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have cholesterol issues. I take good care of my body. I watch what I eat. I try to exercise as much as I physically can. After my car accident, I'm not the same. I was in a car accident in April. I broke several bones, my hips, my ankle, my sternum, 8 ribs, and it's not the same. Like, I'm in pain a lot. I try to deal with the pain the best I can, but I try to be as active as I can through the pain as well. So the comments, people are going to say what they want. They're keyboard warriors. They're going to say what they want and do what they want about it. You know, I can't help it, and I can only address the fact that, yes, I am fat. I know I'm fat. Does it bother me? Yes, it bothers me. Do I want to be this big? No. I have tried to fix it, but I can't get the weight off. It's part of life. It is what it is. And as long as I maintain my healthy status and continue to walk and continue to do the exercising, because, you know, I do like a lot of just dance and a lot of cardio, then I'm going to continue to be healthy. But on the same side of that goes with my mental health. You know, if I were in a really bad place right now, maybe the comments would bother me, because about 4 months ago, those comments would have bothered me, because even the comments from the kids saying, wow, she's fat, bothered me, made me cry. I broke down in public several times because the comments just got to me, and I was in a bad place mentally. And now that I'm not in that bad place, the comments don't bother me. The looks, the stares, the pointing, it's just part of life. It's every day. Everybody's going to judge somebody. We all judge. It's just who we are. It's human nature. But, you know, it coincides with my mental health. I suffer from bipolar disorder with severe depression. I got diagnosed when I was 13 with bipolar disorder, and I have dealt with it in many ways. A lot have been unhealthy ways. So I try to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to, following the instructions of my doctors, taking the medications that I'm supposed to be taking. because, you know, I take a combination of medications to keep me in a safe level to where I can function, or barely function, because some days I can't not function. I can barely deal with life going on around me because I'm still in a bad spot. My car accident took so much more out of me. It scarred me for life. I can barely get into the car without freaking out. I barely drive. I just started driving, and it had been April to October, so 6 months. 6 months, yeah, right at about 6 months that I haven't driven. Like, I refused to get behind the wheel. The first time I got behind the wheel, I started crying because I was so scared that I was going to go I was so scared that I was going to go get into a car accident again. I went head on into a concrete barrier, moved the concrete barrier 4 feet, and smashed the whole front end of my car. Because somebody decided they missed the exit and cut me off. And because of that, I have nightmares. I relive it when I fall asleep. Like, it's very vivid when I go to sleep. These things, they come, and it feels so real. It feels like I'm reliving it over again and over and over. And so getting in the car gets to me. I see things like, I have triggers for me, and those triggers, like, can set me off into a tangent. And it's very hard, and people don't talk about mental health. They don't talk about how it affects the people around them. They don't talk about how it affects you personally. Like, because you know what? My sister sometimes has to walk on tippy toes trying to take care of me, making sure I'm not going off the deep end, and making sure that I'm mentally capable of taking care of myself at the time. Because there was a point, I'd say about a year ago, that I got into the deepest depression, the deepest down I've ever been in, and I saw no way out. There was absolutely no way out. I just couldn't handle it. I wouldn't brush my hair. I wouldn't get out of bed. I wouldn't leave the house. All because I was that depressed, that down, because I just couldn't deal. Like, life around me was going on, but I was not living life. And it's just so hard because, you know, people don't talk about it. And, you know, there's people, I want to relate with somebody, but I have no one that relates to me. No one, I don't feel like in my life, the one person I had that understood, or truly understood, passed away. My grandma passed away. She understood. And she didn't judge. My sister doesn't judge either. But, you know, I wish I had somebody who understood. Like, I wish I had someone who goes through it the same way I do. Someone who can say, yeah, this happens on my down days. This happens on, or this so-and-so. This is how I deal with it. Or, sorry, that was my sister. But, you know, there's things that, there are things in life that I want to do, but I don't want my mental health to, things in life I want to do, and I don't want my mental health to stop me. I don't want my weight to stop me. My weight and my mental health sometimes coincide. They go together, and sometimes, you know, it gets me down, but then I have to sit there and think that I can only live my life for me, and I can't live for people who want to make fun of me, or people who judge me and don't know what path I have walked. Because, you know what, as a teenager, I was very active. I played sports. I played volleyball, basketball, softball. I played softball for years. I was a catcher. I ran. I constantly ran. You know, they were constantly running us in athletics. I did band, you know, so we had marching. I was constantly active. In high school, I also skated a lot. So every Friday, Saturday night, you could have caught me at the skating rink. So there's, you know, a lot of things that people just judge and don't know the path that you have walked. Because, you know, at one point, I was active. I was in the gym 6 days a week. I follow a lot of bodybuilders, trying to see how they lost weight, how they, you know, just seeing different ways. But I can never get the weight off. And mentally, at some point, it just clicked in me like, quit caring what people think. You can only live your life for you. You can only mentally make sure that you are prepared for what you can do. And me personally, I'm a survivor. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to make sure that I'm okay. You know, I've taken steps that I should have never taken steps for. I lost sight of who I am at some points. And I don't want to lose sight of who I am. And I feel that, you know, people should talk about mental health. People should not judge people about their weight. You know, because there are anorexic people, bulimia people who don't feel they're beautiful, that they feel they're too overweight when they're actually underweight. And people don't make fun of them. People try to help them, but what's the difference between someone who's underweight and someone overweight? Yes, there's difference in weight, but you want to help them both. You don't want to judge them and say, well, you're unhealthy. You don't know if somebody's unhealthy. Just because they're fat and just because they're skinny does not mean they're unhealthy. And just because somebody's happy and has a smile on their face does not mean they're not dying on the inside. You know, does not mean that they're not slowly losing who they are and who they thought they were and who they want to be. Because I want to be somebody. I want to advocate for people. I want to make sure that people understand who I am and what battles I have gone through to make sure that my kid, my sister, and my niece, my brother, my sister-in-law, and all my nieces and nephews don't have to go through what I did. I want them to just understand, you know. I want them to just be a part of my life, and I want to be able to do things with them, you know. Like tonight, or tomorrow night, we're going to a hockey game. My weight's not stopping me from going to that hockey game. Best believe I'm going to be cheering on my stars, hence the makeup and the matching dress, trying to figure out what I was going to wear. Because, you know, Friday is my birthday, so this is a birthday gift to me tomorrow. So, you know, it's just one of those things that you should trust who you are and not let judgment get to you. If you're feeling like you're in a bad place, get help. You know, it took me up until I was like 23 to get help. It took me going into a mental hospital before I got help. You know, because I thought, oh, I don't need medicine. Oh, I don't need this. I'm fine on my own. And boy, was I wrong. No. I need help. I need the everyday support. I get so much support from my sister. It's not even funny. Like, my sister is my biggest fan, my best friend. She's my world. And I don't like when she sees me down. And I don't like when I get down on myself. And my sister has to keep reminding me, you're good at this, you're good at that. You are better than that. You're able to do this, you're able to do that. You just get down on yourself. And she's right. Sometimes I do. You know, sometimes I do. My mental health just gets to me. Sometimes then I'm like, my weight just gets to me. But you know what? I find a way to deal with it. If it's not talking to my sister, it's talking to my psychologist. And it's taking my medication. It's not letting people's words bother me. You know, I have friends that I reach out to when I have a hard time. I have 2 best friends I talk to pretty much on a daily basis. And one of them is going through cancer treatment right now. But when I'm down, she knows it, and she's right there on top of it, trying to make sure I'm okay, you know, and everything like that. We live 100 miles apart, yet we still find a way to make sure we're okay together. Because when the moment we met 7 years ago, we have been non-stop together. Go. It's been us against the world. Me, my sister, her. Us against the world. And, you know, my sister's a larger girl. My sister is finally understanding what I'm going through, because she reached this point in her life where she has reached a down spot. And my sister understands what I'm going through. She finally is starting to get it, and finally starting to understand. So we're able to communicate and try to help lift each other up, try to get it up. But like when I get in a down spot, the only one who can bring me out of that down spot is myself. I have to want it enough to do it. And I have to want enough to make sure that I get any and everything taken care of. I have to want to make sure that I take care of myself. And you know, at some points, there were points where I thought I was giving up. I was going to give up. But the moral of the story, the moral of this video is a tangent. I get it. It's a tangent. It's not going to be for everybody. But I want you to hear what I feel like. I want you to understand what I've gone through. My car accident tore me to pieces, both mentally and physically. I have a 9-inch scar on my leg. I have scars on my ankle just from the car accident alone. My left leg, it swells from the car accident and it stays swollen. You know, I have reminders of this car accident every day. So that gets to me. Then I have scars on my arms from, I was a cutter, you know, high school, right up until I was about 23. I was a cutter. I felt that cutting eased any pain, I didn't have to think about my mental pain. I only had to think about the physical. And, you know, it just, something changed. I had a kid that changed a lot of stuff. You know, that changed my whole world. But it didn't change it enough to stop certain things. It didn't change it enough to stop the cutting immediately. It didn't change it, you know, enough to change my mindset completely. It took years. And even now, I'm fixing to be 31, and I still don't think my mindset is in the proper spot. But I'm trying. I really am trying. I'm trying to be who I want to be in everything. I'm trying to be the best me I can be. Right now, I don't work. My car accident caused me to definitely not be able to work. Because of the leg swelling, I have to keep it up and elevate it. But I try to do things at home. Like, I have a small business. I try to run that. You know, I craft and sell those things in my small business. So I do things at home to try to make my own money and be self-sufficient. But, you know, sometimes life gives you lemons and you gotta make lemonade with it. And I feel like, you know, maybe me telling some of my story, or me trying to put out some of my story, would make people understand. And maybe, you know, those people who are watching my videos and judging me on my weight and things like that will understand, you know, okay, maybe her weight wasn't all intentional. Yeah, you know, sometimes it is intentional, sometimes it is my own fault, because, you know, when I was younger, every once in a while, I binged on, I like chocolate a lot, and that's what I binged on. But these days, I watch what I eat, I watch the amount of chocolate I take in, and I watch the amount of soda I drink. I drink more water than anything. You know, I just try to keep it simple. But people are still going to judge me. And that's okay. Because your judgment doesn't matter to me. The judgment that matters to me is what I'm going to do in my next life. It doesn't matter what's in this life. It matters what happens when I leave this earth. So, I want to make an impact on people's lives. And I want to be able to tell my story and make sure, you know, people understand. Because there's a lot to my backstory that I don't really talk to people about. There's a lot about who I am that made me who I am going to be. And made me a fighter. So if you want to learn more about my story, you want to know who I am, what I do, and how I'm going to change my life as I grow and get older and everything like that, you can follow my YouTube channel. You can follow my blog, because I do blog about my mental health. I do, granted I just started my blog, but you know what, you can shoot over there, look at it, and you'll find I've already written a whole mental health issue post. You know, just take a look at my life and try to see if you had to walk one day in my life, could you make it? Remind yourself to not judge. Look at other people and see, okay, can I make it in their life? Can I make it if I walk their footsteps? And a lot of times some people won't, and that's okay. You learn and you live. So I do want to thank you for watching my video, and I hope you have a wonderful day.